What better words could you say? That's just perfect.
Just hardcore swooning when I read that. Big
For
swooning
sure.
happening over here.
For sure.
This is such an important lesson for us to think about. I think it's such a disservice to books like this when we don't talk about these themes and lessons in addition to the spice.
Love is not always rainbows and butterflies and woo. Sometimes love is being direct with someone.
Love that you're highlighting that.
You're accidentally welcome.
Hi, and welcome to Romantasy Remedy. I'm Whitney.
And I'm Kenzie. We're sisters-in-law and book besties who thrive on daily doses of magic and romance from our favorite fantasy stories.
So, if your emotional support animal is a dragon and your therapist has shadow powers, you're in the right place. Thanks for being here and for liking, rating, and following our show. Before we get started, this is our official content warning. Simply put, Romantasy Remedy is a podcast for grown-ups. The topics and language will reflect that. Please listen at your comfort level.
And one more thing before we dive into The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent, our spoiler warning. For most of the episode, there will only be spoilers for chapters 22 through 41. But at the end of today's episode, we will have our spoiler central segment where we make connections to events later in the book and the entire Crowns of Nyaxia series. Don't worry, we'll give another big warning before Spoiler Central begins.
Thanks, Kenz. One of our goals at Romantasy Remedy is to highlight how books in this genre inspire readers. When we see characters facing fears, overcoming challenges, and growing into their potential, it helps us to do the same. So each week, we'll choose a quote from the chapters we read to be an affirmation, a phrase to empower and motivate us. This week's affirmation says, I won't allow that. We based this affirmation on words spoken by Asar. The direct quote reads, I won't let you die here because you're too ashamed to live, Mische. You are so much more than this, and it would be a waste to throw all that magnificence away. For what? Because the sun told you to hate yourself? No, I won't allow that. Oh, I love Asar. We love this and Asar because we all have times when we need the reminder that sometimes the strongest affirmations aren't soft, they're protective. It feels like drawing a line against the shame, fear, and self-hatred that try to convince us we are less than what we truly are. There's strength in speaking to yourself with the same fierce love and defiance that someone who sees your worth would use. What do you think of this affirmation, Kenz?
I think it's the best. There's a reason we picked it, right? It's so good. I love it. And I love that he is empowering her. I mean, it just goes back to what we talked about last week with therapist Asar. He really just picks the best words and is so good at drawing Mische out and finding her strengths, but also finding her weaknesses and helping her overcome them. So I feel like this is one of those, and I love it.
I agree. He does a great job and also gives a great model for words that we can use for ourselves when we need to. I love that idea of showing ourselves the same fierce love. So good.
Yes.
Love yourself the way Asar loves Mische. All right. Well, keep listening to hear more about these moments from the chapters that either inspired, healed, humored, or wooed us. And before we get to that, Kenzie is going to recap what happened in this week's section of chapters.
Man, we're in the psyche. Yikes. Well, Mische, Asar, and company head into Sanctum of Psyche, where the vibes are immediately terrible. Asar suddenly sprouts an air mark, and Elias responds in the most dramatic way possible, stabbing him and shoving him off a cliff because, why not? Typical workplace conflict. Mische dives after him because obviously she's emotionally attached to him now, and Psyche starts weaponizing everyone's trauma, showing Mische flashbacks, fantasies, and basically the world's most invasive therapy session. Seriously. Meanwhile, Chandra reveals she used to murder vampire babies. Yikes. So Mische decides, officially tame Asar. Fair. Mische gets front row seats to Asar's tragic backstory, dead pet and dead girlfriend, necromancy disaster, and centuries of emotional damage. Luce drags them out just in time to grab the next relic, a ring from Alaris and Nyaxia's wedding. Soon after, Asar takes Mische to his ghost mentor Esme's house for dinner, baths, and emotional support. Esme immediately clocks the chemistry and warns Mische not to break Asar's heart. Then Asar plays piano because apparently this man collects romance novel tropes like Pokemon cards. Naturally,
He probably collects Pokemon cards too. He seems like
in
the
that
type.
little room of all the things he collects. Yes,
Yeah.
it's true. Naturally, the moment gets ruined by Ophelia, Malik, and an army of wraiths. The gang flees to the Sanctum of Secrets, where Mische is barely functioning until Asar feeds her his blood. And yes, it's exactly as intimate as you think. Whoop, whoop. Then things somehow get more chaotic. After reaching the temple, Ophelia basically kidnaps Mische. Dead sister Seisha shows up swinging, and after magical escape room antics, Mische and Asar finally give in to the tension and hook up on an altar. Bad choice, but great. Where Asar proves he may indeed be the most devoted acolyte. Yeah, he does.
Somehow it worked for them.
But the gods are not happy. Troxus crashes Mische's dreams, makes her relive killing Seisha during her turning, and blackmails her into agreeing to kill Alaris in exchange for Asar and resurrecting her sister. No pressure. The duo reunites, pretend they didn't just get manipulated by deities. They find the relic, a golden arrow meant to kill Nyaxia, and continue deeper into the descent. The section ends with Asar basically saying, "This journey with you has been the honor of my life," before they walk hand in hand into the Sanctum of Soul, which means emotionally devastating things are probably 5 minutes away. It's the end of the book, always is. In conclusion, pianos can be unpredictable, and poppy fields make for great date nights. Oh my gosh, this stretch of chapters.
So many things happen.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The Sanctum of Psyche and the Sanctum of Secrets are just, I feel like that's where it all goes down. So many things shift and...
Man, they sound terrible, but then like in the recap, great therapy sessions for anybody, but I don't know if it's worth it. Terrible.
Yes, terrible, but so great at the same time.
Yes.
Somehow. The chapters, though, at Esme's are some of my absolute favorite in this book.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to go there first for our remedies today.
Okay, yay.
One reason I love those chapters is because I love seeing different sides of characters, kind of their less serious side, I guess you could say. For example, in A Court of Mist and Fury, I really adored scenes where we got to see the inner circle at Rita's or during dancing at Starfall or just out eating dinner in Valaris, because you got to see just who they were beyond, the High Lord and his friends.
Yeah.
Like, they just got to see them totally being themselves and being fun. And that's kind of how I felt about this scene at Esme's. That's how I felt we got to see Asar. You didn't have to just see the serious, like, Wraith Warden, I'm on a mission.
Yeah. That's a great comparison. Yeah.
And I think Mische felt the same way to a degree. When he was playing the piano, it just killed me. I died. I was dead. Here's what Mische says about it. I looked over my shoulder at Asar, and I almost stumbled at the sight of him, eyes shining, hands moving, a little dot of water that had dripped from his hair hanging onto the tip of his nose for dear life, and he was smiling in a way that made the entire world stop, a smile that reminded me of the way the sun looked when it crested the horizon the first time I saw it at the Citadel, and I had thought, I am home. So this is a big deal because the sun historically is everything to Mische. And I did notice during this reread that she starts comparing Asar to the sun often, starts saying that he feels like the dawn. It reminds her of the dawn, reminds her of the sun. So I think that shows her feelings for him growing and growing. And I just love this description of him playing the piano and how he feels like he's home, and then Mische feels like she's finally home. So it's just a beautiful moment all around. I love this quote.
I love that he plays the piano too. I feel like Asar is such a deep character. Like you have to peel back all the layers because there is so much to him. So much.
Yes, and there's a funny conversation, I think, between he and Misha where he admits that he wants to learn to play the cello,
Yes.
and she is kind of surprised that he's interested in music. She's kind of like, "Oh, I just thought you would be someone who likes books." Like, I think she was basically saying, "Don't you just like to read the dictionary for fun? That seems like your
Right.
vibe." And he tells her, I, like any sophisticated person, Misha, I enjoy good music. And so we get to
Right.
see that firsthand at Esme's house, and it's so great. In fact, Esme encourages some dancing, and so Asar is playing the piano, and Esme and Misha are just dancing, and I bet Misha is so fun to go to a dance party with. So
Yes.
I just picture this whole moment, and it just seems so great. Then, like you said in the recap, Esme is clocking the chemistry between Asar and Misha, and she goes to bed, which does she even need to go to bed? She's a ghost. So I don't know. But she leaves them alone, and Misha asks Asar to play another song, and he does. And of course, it's this very hauntingly beautiful piece. And then she convinces Asar to dance with her. So he does some kind of magic thing where the piano plays itself and they're dancing. And Asar reveals that he just came up with these songs, like out of nowhere, just invented them. And when she asks him about that, he says the following: "I just played the notes that sounded like you."
Ugh,
I mean,
it's like what better words could you say? Like that's just perfect.
just hardcore swooning when I read that. Like, big
For
swooning
sure.
happening over here.
For sure.
After the swooning, the conversation takes a turn to discussing Misha's relationship with Atraxas. So, talk about like a
Yes.
bucket of cold water.
Well,
And Asar is, of course, unyielding in his dislike for Atraxas, which is
right.
understandable. I am as well. I hate him. And this is what Asar says: "It is an injustice, Misha, that this is what you got when you asked for love. This isn't what love should feel like." And Misha replies, "What should it feel like?" And then, there's a very sweet moment where he like starts kissing her scars before a bunch of wraiths attack Esme's house. I wanted to kind of go off of Misha's question here. I read that and it made me pause and just think about that question for myself. What should love feel like? And I thought maybe that could lead into the rest of our conversation and our remedies today. So I wanted to ask you, Kenzie, was there a
Yes.
moment with these two where it taught you something about what love should feel like?
Yes. Oh my gosh. This stretch of chapters is just amazing because we actually really get to see the development of their relationship. And it's also awesome because we get to see Asar teaching Misha to love herself. And that in of itself is what love should feel like, right? And that she has more to offer than she really believes, right? I want to talk specifically my remedy that answers your question here is in chapter 25. So they're still in Psyche, and Ophelia has made another bone-chilling appearance. Can I tell you, she is probably one of the scariest characters out of like all the series we've read in all the books. She's terrifying to me. She really is.
She is very creepy. Okay, wait, question
Yeah.
though. Who
Yeah.
is which scene is creepier to you? Ophelia and like all the wraiths and stuff, or
Okay.
Lahore in the Ashes and the Star-Cursed King with the turned children?
Oh, Lahore. I forgot about that. The turn chill. Oh, she was okay. I think Ophelia is scary. Lahore's just downright like heebie-jeebies, like
Yes.
like
Just
I
like,
have a
that's so
visceral
wrong.
reaction. Yes, yes. Like I will take Ophelia over Lahore any day of the week. 100%. I
Okay,
forgot
sorry, I
about
didn't
her.
mean to go on a side quest there. I was
We're-
when you said it was the creepiest one you've read, I was like, but what about Lahore?
Terrifying. Terrifying. She's creepy. Oh, ugh, yuck. Okay. Maybe she's not so bad. We'll keep her. Anyway.
Wait,
So-
what is Araya's cousin's name in Lahore? Eveline?
Oh,
No. Is it
Evangeline or
No. wait.
Eveline. Eveline is
I'm
right.
getting people confused. It's fine. It's fine. Something like that.
Lahore.
She's creepy. That's all that
The
matters.
turned children. Turned children's all you need to say. Anyways, it's utter chaos, right? And Mische makes her way into the altar where the next relic's going to be found. So as we know, Asar can't follow her because it's the light and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so we have all read it. So she's by herself, basically fighting her own reflections, and they're tormenting her with her past sins and her perceived wrongs. And like, how terrifying would it be? Because it's basically putting a mirror in front of yourself, and not necessarily the worst things you've done, but the perceived worst things you've done, right? So it's really psyche. It's messing with her.
When you just described it that way, I haven't even thought about it like this, but it really is a great kind of symbolism, I feel like, of how we do fight with ourselves.
Yes.
Just that whole visual of her fighting her reflection. I mean, and it's just a great visual representation of what she's been doing this whole book, of like hating herself and fighting against herself. So love that you're highlighting that.
You're accidentally welcome. I didn't realize it. Good point. But anyway, so we know like at the beginning, Asar made like a kind of like a line, an anchor, and she hears through this anchor when they started. You are a shadowborn. You are a shadowborn vampire. You are surrounded by your greatest weapon. Use it. Now I understood. He hadn't torn down that wall so he could save me. He had done it to hand me the weapon I could use to save myself. Love. So good. Because Mische's been spent so long being afraid of the shadow within her because she's always been following Atraxis's light. And I love that Asar reminds her that this is her power and it's not something to fear. So he also follows it and he says this: "You are too good to be this afraid of yourself." He snapped, "You are better than this." And though his words were harsh, his touch on my mind was soft. I just love both of these. And I love that line because it captures Asar so perfectly, because he's frustrated with her for being so afraid of herself. But underneath, it's with so much tenderness, it's with so much love that he's trying to like shake her and be like, you are so much better than this. You can do it. And so even when he's pushing her, he's so gentle with her. He's not trying to tear her down. He's trying to make her see herself the way he really does. Kind of like our affirmation, right? He just reemphasizes it all the time. And to emphasize that point one more time, I love this quote: "The blind fury of my magic faded. I saw another version of myself in his gaze. Mische, the woman he looked at like that." Ugh. Love that for her, because she's finally seeing it. It like clicks for her. And
don't you wish you could do that? Like literally see yourself the way other people see you? I just think that'd be so interesting.
It would be so interesting and so terrifying, but I think we we don't give ourselves enough credit. I think people, what is it? You're always your harshest critic, right?
Yes,
and Mische
absolutely.
is terribly hard on herself when she doesn't deserve it. And Asar, I think this is that love that he's showing her, is showing her how to love herself. And I think that's huge. And it's so powerful because it reframes what love should actually feel like for her. Because before with Atraxis, it's been possession and dependency and someone rescuing you. But Asar is someone who helped her become more herself. So I love that. And I'll finish it with this quote: "I didn't remember taking Asar's hand, only that when his fingers intertwined around mine, it felt like a key sliding into a lock." Oh, that's exactly what it should be.
Yes.
So good.
So good. And it's stuff like this that makes me just fall in love with this genre all over again, because not only are we getting to read this super interesting and magical adventure that Mische is on, but this is such an important lesson for us to think about and learn. And yeah, sure, there's like a spicy scene and all that stuff in this stretch of chapters, and I'm not knocking that spicy scene. It's so good. But I think it's such a disservice to books like this when we don't talk about these themes and lessons in addition to the spice and whatever. Because, yeah, I mean, this is so beautiful. The way that Asar helps her see she doesn't need to be saved. She doesn't owe Atraxis anything. Like, she has her own worth. And we'll get into this more probably in the next episode, because of the events that will take place in the final chapters. I anticipate us
What?
talking more about Misha's like growth and stuff. But, this aspect of it, how Asar loves her in this way and how he shows her what love should feel
Yes.
like and what
Yes.
true love can do for you. I think that true love is one of the best feelings that we get to feel when you get to love someone for just exactly who they are and imperfections and all. It's just the best feeling. And so I love that
Yes.
we get to see Asar do that for Misha here
Yes.
and teach her what it is.
Agreed. And like we've talked about before, it's not just words he's not saying. Like, this isn't what love's supposed to feel like. He's showing her over and over again and in different ways. I think that's amazing. He really is.
Not just lip service, like he's
Right.
backing it up with all his actions.
Right. And I like that some of his way of showing her love, like my favorite line is like, it was harsh, but it was soft at the same time. Like, sometimes love is not always rainbows and butterflies and woo. Like, sometimes love is being direct with someone, and Asar is direct with Misha and not what he expects of her, but what she should expect and see in herself. And sometimes true love is that as well. And I like
Totally.
that with her.
Yeah. No, I agree. Because sometimes, you think, oh, well, he should just agree with everything she says, follow her lead,
Right.
whatever. But I do think that true love is being able to, like Asar does here, almost call someone out a little bit and say, hey, like, you are better than this. You are too good for this. I can't let you continue living this way because I know how, what does he say, magnificent you are.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that is part of really loving someone. But yeah, he's so good at, like you said, soft but direct.
Yes. Yeah. In Asar fashion.
In therapist Asar fashion. Thank you for sharing all of that. I love that chapter as well. Chapter 25 is so good. Ophelia is so creepy though. I didn't write down what chapter it's in, but I know it's in the chapter right before they go into the Sanctum of Soul. Is that the next one? I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah, Sanctum of Soul. They're in the poppy
Secrets.
field. Well, so they go Sanctum of Psyche, and then they go to Sanctum of Secrets, and that's where they have their spicy scene on the altar.
That's right. Okay, now they're going to Soul.
And then after that, they leave, and they get to the poppy field, and the door is in the middle to go into the Sanctum of Soul. And in the poppy field, they have this really tender and sweet conversation. And so I don't want to leave this chat about their relationship development without talking about this one quote because it is one of my absolute favorites. And it definitely made me swoon. He basically asks Misha, since he's been a vampire his whole life, he's been avoiding the sun his whole life. And he tells her, I don't know what the sun feels like. Can you tell me what it feels like? And I didn't write down what Misha says. Sorry, it's probably really good. But the part that I loved is what Asar says to her after that. He says, I imagine that it feels the way music sounds, like joy for the sake of it. Maybe it feels like hope. Yes, I whispered. It's exactly like that. His touch, gentle as nightfall, fell over my hand. I wouldn't look at him, wouldn't turn to face him, but I felt his breath against my ear. You have given me all of that, he murmured. So you have succeeded in your impossible mission, Dawn Drinker, and I'm deeply honored that I had the opportunity to walk this path with you. Thank you.
Gives me goosebumps.
It's so good.
It is so good.
And it has some Liam Miari, is that how you say his name, from Fourth Wing. It's been my honor.
Oh, yes, it's been my honor.
Some Liam
that's
vibes
such a
there.
sad, yes.
But this kind of brings it full circle to being at Esme's house. I imagine that it feels the way music sounds, joy for the sake of it. That's just so beautiful. After watching the way he played piano, now he's comparing his time with Misha and just Misha herself to that kind of level of joy. It's a big deal. So I
love that he's
love
meeting her where she's at a little bit too, with comparing everything to the sun and the warmth, and he's like asking her to describe it. And I just think that he's just so in tune in every
very
way.
Perceptive, very observant, very emotionally intelligent.
Yes.
Love him. And
Yes.
Mische does too, because, and this is the last quote I'll share. Sorry, I've been just
Love
like
it.
an audiobook over here reading all these
Um,
quotes. But Mische
have
says,
to.
this man who devoted himself eternally to righting wrongs and fixing the broken things that no one else cared about, this man who saw light in the darkness and heard music in the silence. I mean, just pretty words. I love it.
I think we'll just
So
leave
good.
it there. It's so good.
It
So
is.
good.
It is. And I truly, watching their relationship and their love develop throughout this book was such a pleasure. It was just so beautiful. And it continues
really
to be
was.
beautiful in The Fall and the Kiss of Dusk. But
Right.
yeah, like you were saying, it's just the best.
It really is. And it's funny because I actually think their relationship dynamics and how they grow together is unique compared to some of the other stories we read in some ways. And so it really is so fun. But the next episode's going to be wild. Wild.
Yes, it will be wild. It will be wild. Did you have any thoughts or comments about their little spicy scene with the altar?
What can I say?
I know,
love
I mean, not
how
to go to detail, but
again, he is so perceptive and emotionally intelligent. He is fantastic in all the right
agreed.
ways.
Do you want to hear some Asar quotes, like totally out of context? Some of these are from that scene, but some are from an earlier part in the book too.
Yes, I do.
These are less like, I'm going to swing the pendulum the other way. I was saying before how we do a disservice if we focus too much on this, but let's just give them a little moment.
Yes, please.
Good girl. Take what you need.
Oh, we're going that way with it.
And then he goes, dangerous, Ilie. You're beautiful when you take, Mische. And then
It was so good. It's so good.
a man can't rush worship.
And he did worship.
Oh, yeah.
He did.
Oh, and then this line, I'd burn with you till the end of it all, Dawn Drinker. So
His nickname
oh,
and
and then
everything. So good.
Misha's like, I didn't regret any of it. I hoped our blood would stain the stone forever.
When they did it on the altar, I was like, girl, that's risky. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah, and then Atraxas is not happy when he shows up, but we hate him, so it's fine.
I'm glad he's unhappy.
Yeah,
Well,
should be unhappy.
right? Well, I'm glad we've expressed so much gratitude for Asar because he absolutely deserves it. But I also want to give a thank you to Esme in this episode. And that is who I want to give our thank you note to. So, to Esme, thank you for being a safe place in this world that rarely offered softness, for standing beside Asar through everything, for your loyalty, your strength, and for being an absolute badass while doing it. Because she is great. Her house, all the things, her story. I want an Esme novella.
Oh, that would be so good.
So good. Every story needs someone who reminds us that love can look like fierce protection too. Thank you, Esme. She's one of my favorites.
Yes, she's really funny, first of all. And like,
Yes.
for example, when she is kind of giving Mische the talk about not hurting Asar,
Yes.
she says something funny like, well, I guess I could wonder what he sees in you, but then again, you have really great boobs, so I guess I know why.
She just is like, I just picture her as just like a badass. She's just all the things I wish
She
I could
is.
be.
She's so great. She's so great.
And the fact she was a warden before him makes me like,
Yes.
I need to know more, Miss
Yes.
Esme.
And I
have
think that speaks to Carissa's talent again of creating these side characters that aren't just
Yes.
fluff, like they are very purposeful. And the fact that I always want a story for each of them, I don't
Yes.
know. I just think she's so good at making great side characters.
She needs to be on our favorite side characters part 2. Esme
Oh,
needs
it's
to
true.
be on
I
there.
feel like we keep remembering
need to
more
do
and
it.
more. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
She's
absolutely.
so funny because she's such a small part really in this, but she big hitter.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Well, and with that, we have reached the end of the main portion of our episode. Thank you so much for listening. Look for Romantasy Remedy on Instagram and TikTok. Check the show notes for those links, as well as links to the printable affirmation and soundtrack playlist on Spotify. So I'm going to have a hot take here for a second about the Spotify playlist. I know that everyone says, Ordinary by Alex Warren is the song for Xaden and Violet, but I think it should be Mische and Asar's song.
Agreed.
It literally talks about being on an altar in that song and how the
You're
angels up in the clouds are jealous. And I'm like, yes, this
it's definitely an
is
Asar
Mische and
Mische.
Asar song.
Yes,
It's like the
100%.
lyrics just apply so perfectly. So that is on the playlist
Agreed.
because that is my hot take that it should be their song, not Xaden and Violet's. Don't come at me. And I can't remember what else I put on the playlist because my brain is just
We'll take Ordinary.
It's Maysember and my brain is a little fried. So that's what I have for you is Ordinary. There's more songs, but I just don't remember what they are.
This is the first year I've ever heard May called Maysember, and I'm like, there could not be a better way to put it.
Yeah,
it's so true.
So accurate.
So true.
So accurate.
Yes. We're really looking forward to connecting with you and nerding out over all the best romantasy. After this, we'll begin the spoiler central segment of the episode, which you should not listen to if you haven't finished the entire series, including the rest of this book. You have been warned.
Yes, I'm going to give you a second warning just in case you zoned out for a second while you were listening to the episode. We are about to start Spoiler Central. If you haven't read all of Crowns of Nioxia, like all of it, every single book, you probably should turn off the episode just to be safe.
Yes.
Unless you don't care about spoilers, then keep listening. Sure, whatever. But here we go. Spoilers are incoming. Let's talk in chapter 22. This is just a very quick side comment, but Mische says that she is jealous of Nightborn wings. I can't remember what's happening because my notes are not adequate in my outline, but I'm imagining she's wishing she could fly away from Ophelia or something, and she just mentions she's jealous of Nightborn wings, and so that just took me right back to the Nightborn duology and thinking about Rain's feathered wings and then Araya's awesome wings that she gets in Ashes, and I'm a little jealous of Nightborn wings too. I'm not gonna lie. So
they sound
right there
gorgeous.
with Mische. They do. They really do. In chapter 25, you brought up this chapter earlier, Kenz. Mische is on the floor in the temple in the Sanctum of Psyche, and she has a flashback to laying on the floor in the Moon Palace during the Kajari. And remember, that's where this whole mess basically starts. She's on the floor calling for Atraxas over, and he doesn't help her. So, and then after that, she can't summon his magic anymore. So,
you know, if you think about this, this is all Mische's fault. If she had never signed her and Rain up for the Kajari. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man. Is it Mische's fault or is someone else pulling the strings?
No, 100%. Oh,
no.
Is that a Septimus watch thing I should know?
I'm not gonna. Okay, chapter 26. Asar tells Mische that Elias took one of the poppy petals. So remember, that is one of the relics, and they realize after Elias leaves that they're missing one of the petals, and Elias took it.
Yes.
I'm not going to say much about it other than this is connected to something in the Lion and the Deathless Dark.
Oh,
so it's
I'm glad
not
you pointed that out because I wouldn't remember. Yep.
Well, yes, I was happy to reread it and see this detail because it made me connect some dots. So I'm pointing it out to you so that when you read it, you will already have it tucked away in there. Chapter 34. This is more of a question than an observation, so let me know what you think. They are walking through a temple, and there is a tapestry that Mische looks at, and she describes it as having a figure silhouetted against a golden orb, bodies and limbs scattered around, a crack. The sun is cracked, split in two. Who is this, and what is it showing? Like, is it because, I mean, it kind of reminded me of when we read the epilogue of Fallen and Septimus is like walking amongst all the like human corpses and stuff. So I'm like, is it that? Or foreshadowing of that?
Maybe.
But the sun is already fallen then. So why would the sun be cracked into, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's just showing that it's gone. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. And I'm like, it's probably connected to like what is happening in the epilogue of Fallen. So
that makes sense. Interesting.
Yeah.
Good observation.
like I said, more a question than an observation on my part. I'm not really sure if that's what it means, but just thought it was interesting. The poppy field that they sit in together, I believe, is the same poppy field that they get married in The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk when they have their necromancy wedding.
Yes.
So that makes it even more romantic.
Yes. It's like their first date and their marriage all at the same place. Yes.
Such a
So
sweet
good.
moment. And I'm just adding this like on the fly here because it popped into my head when we were talking earlier. Mische and Asar do have a conversation about how he wants to learn to play the cello. And there's a moment in Fallen where Mische finds a cello and they play it. And it's a good chapter. Yes.
Yes, it is.
So just a little foreshadowing of the cello moment in The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk.
Good observations. I love it. I love all of these that you put together. They're so good.
Well, thank you. Thanks for sticking around so we could chat about some connections across the Crowns of Nyaxia. And thanks for doing this whole book chat with me, Kenz, and thanks to everybody who listened and come back for the next and final episode. How did that happen? The next and final episode of The Songbird and the Heart of Stone.
Crazy. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.